Hey guys, it's Lee from Max Grinder UK. I'm in Austin, Texas at Strait Music and I'm with Clint Strait and he's going to tell us a little bit about himself and his company.
Strait Music Company was started by my grandfather, Dan Strait, in 1963. My grandfather was selling pianos in Houston, Texas for a place called Pace Piano Company, and an opportunity opened up for him to start a Baldwin piano franchise in Austin, Texas. So he moved the whole family to Austin, Texas. That's my dad, his two little sisters, and little brother. And they all moved here to Austin, and my grandfather started Strait Piano and Organ. Shortly thereafter, an opportunity opened up to expand in some different other musical instrument categories. I think one of the key factors in that was that at the time, in the late 60s, I guess, or early 70s, the Beatles were playing Vox Amps. They immediately became very popular, and it just so happened that Baldwin Pianos owned that line. So it was easy for us to get that line, and with that, I mean, you can't sell amps without selling guitars, so we started selling guitars. Then from then we expanded into band and orchestra instruments, and of course, as technology advanced over the years, we got into keyboards and synths. And I think my grandfather said every time my grandfather told my grandmother he was expanding into a new category, she told him he was crazy and that he shouldn't. And I guess he was right on that one. So we that's our original location right there, and it was at 9th and Lamar. We slowly, as we expanded in product lines, we expanded. It was a strip center, but we would be able to take over a little bit more of it as the years went along. So some key events were in 1981. Memorial Day flood of 1981 came, which is in late May 1981, and it was the most catastrophic flood the city of Austin had ever seen. Unfortunately, ground zero was at where Strait Music's location was at 9th and Lamar. There's a picture right over there. You can see our piano department was under 8 feet of water. We didn't have any insurance, so it was pretty catastrophic. We were lucky to survive it. I think through the help of a lot of good people, helping us clean up and get our store back together, and a lot of our good vendors who supported us during that time was the reason we made it. So my grandfather, I think pretty much after that, he was over it. And so he retired in 1982, which is the year I was born and also the year my father took over the business. I guess going from there, we actually had another flood in 1991. By that point, we were next door to the original Whole Foods. There was one Whole Foods grocery store that was our neighbor. So kind of a cool story there. They've grown just a little bit. And after that, my father knew we had to get out of that location. We were lucky enough then to where it was declared a disaster area by then Governor George Bush. And so we had a little bit more help, because we went from no help in 81 to having some help in 91, had some insurance, got some federal relief money, I believe. And so it wasn't quite as bad, but it still didn't make for a good holiday season at the Strait household or Strait Music Company as a whole. So we knew we had to get out of there. We then moved pretty much around the corner to 5th and West Street. It was a great building. We were able to buy it, so we weren't at the mercy of a lease like we had been before. We were there from, I believe, 95 to 2001, which is when we moved here to our current location. In the middle there, we opened up a second location, which is still we only have 2 locations, and that was up in the north suburb of Cedar Park, or North Austin. And so we moved here. We built this whole place out, and we've been here since 2001. I guess I came back in 2006. I was born and raised here in Austin, but I went to school up in Colorado at Colorado State University, lived in Denver for about 10 months after that, and then came back home to work for the family business. People always ask me if that's what I knew I was going to do. I didn't. My dad never really pressured me into it. He just kind of let it happen organically. And, 8 months of selling door to door in a cheap suit in the snow of Denver, Colorado will certainly get you thinking about your opportunities back home at a family business. So that was one of the things that got me back here. And so I've been here. It'll be 10 years in December I've been back. I'm now vice president. My dad still is pretty active in the business. He's kind of on his way out, looking towards retirement, but he certainly has forgotten more about this business than I've learned. So I definitely still need him around. So I would also say that you got to have we have a rich tradition here, pretty well-known name recognition in town, which certainly helps us. And I think we have a cool store. My grandfather's motto was a place where customers become friends. And so I still think it's, very important to us to make friends on a daily basis. And I tell my employees all the time, every person that comes in here for the first time, we want them to never want to go anywhere else again. And we need to do that by having the things they want in stock, providing the best customer service possible, and also having a store vibe and atmosphere that's not duplicated by someone online or a big box store. So we carry Martin, Taylor, Gibson acoustics as well as Fender. So here's our acoustic room in here. You can see the Martins on the left, Taylor's on the right, and then we've got another high-end room over here where some of our nicer guitars are. A lot of our Gibsons are in there. So and then out here we have a whole much bigger selection of acoustic guitars. Everything from half size and 3/4 size classicals for kids to travel guitars, and just a little bit more of our affordable lines are out here. And then in this corner over here we have a lot of our folk instruments, so banjos, ukuleles, bajo sextos, and bajo quintos. Obviously ukuleles I'm sure they're equally as popular in the UK as they are here, so we can't even stock them hardly. They sell so quick. Then you come over here, and this is our electric guitar section. So we've got a wall full of Gibsons, a wall full of Fenders, some of our child guitars down there, a lot of our electric packs over here. And then, like I said, we have the Gretches over here. So our most popular electrics are going to be Fender, Gibson, Epiphone, Gretsch. There's our bass section right here. And then, of course, we've got the amp room. Fender Vox, Black Star. I think bass amps, we've got Ashdown. Probably still have some Crate, Ampeg. We've got some of our higher end Mesa Boogie stuff back here. And then another thing that's pretty hot right now is the whole rebirth of analog. So we've got a pretty good synth selection. If you go to the right here, you can look in this room. So there's a lot of our synths in here. I've got some others too, but and then we've got a pretty vast per audio and recording department back here. So mixers and monitors and mics and everything. But some of the people that have been in our store before. Gary Clark Jr. He's an Austinite and has shopped here through the years. Jack Black was in here one day and I got to meet him. That was pretty cool. And actually, we just won that was last year's award, but for the second year in a row, we won Best Music Store and Best Instrument Repair in the Austin Music Awards. And this is our piano showroom in here. Most of our grands are right here. We've got some of our uprights over there. And we have a pretty expansive sheet music department as well. And then we literally just finished this room in here. It's not fully finished yet, but you get the point. But it's where we are going to keep a lot of our high-end band and orchestra instruments, so saxophones, trumpets. And then so up front is our band and orchestra department. So it's kind of funny when you walk in the front door, it's either sheet music and pianos to your left, or all the rock and roll stuff, as I used to say, is to the right. So And we walked through the guitar showroom floor, but this is where our guitar counter is. So strings and all your accessories and stuff you can get up here at the counter. That's our repair check-in station for all the repair shops I talk about. That's where you can check in stuff. That's pretty much it. That's the 360-degree circle there. We have a rich music scene here in Austin, and I can't speak to the totality of it because, frankly, I'm not old enough to. But I know this: Austin was a college town. I mean, make no mistake about it. We were the little brother to all the big cities in Texas. We're not so much a little brother anymore, and I think the music scene has benefited and suffered from it. Certainly, the reputation of Austin being the live music capital of the world has been really important to the growth of this city and also the growth of the music scene. But at the same time, now it's hard for people to make a living making music. That's what's That's one of the negative drawbacks of it. Austin rents and what it takes to purchase a house has really increased a lot over the years. And the fact of the matter is we have a lot of musicians here. I mean, it's just, it's supply and demand. So, I mean, there's a lot of musicians. Everyone's trying to make it, and it's become hard. That's probably the bad part of it right now. But certainly, we've created a culture here in this town where music is a part of the fabric of our city. I mean, it's what people know us for. And I hope that moving forward, we don't forget about what has got us here, and we try to take care of our musicians so they can try to make a living. And also, now we have big festivals like South by Southwest, like ACL, and that's great. They're good for our local economy. They're revenue generators for the city, but we can't forget that local music on a Wednesday in the middle of June is what we built ourselves on. So we need to remember that. And there's a lot of good organizations around town that are lobbying the city. And we just did Austin Music People, which is an organization here, just did a study that has kind of been showing the economic impact of some of this outside stuff coming in and how, our local scene is actually suffering. So I think there's a level of awareness now that we've made a couple of missteps along the way, or we'll cut off our nose to spite our face, I guess, so to speak. But hopefully that moving forward we can create an awareness and make sure that we take care of our own here in the city of Austin. Well, one of my favorite organizations around town, and one that I'm involved in through just helping out with different events, is the Health Alliance for Austin Musicians. It's called HAM, HAAM is the acronym, and they provide health care for working musicians that really couldn't otherwise afford it. Their motto is keep Austin music alive and well. If you have healthy musicians, you might have more of them. So they do a great job around town. Just recently at an event held over South by Southwest, the goal was to raise $65,000. I can't imagine they didn't do it. I haven't heard afterwards, but. They raise millions and millions of dollars to provide health care for Austin musicians. It's through partnerships with some of our local hospitals and also a lot of really good donors and throwing a lot of really good events. We have Ham Benefit Day here in Austin, which is a citywide day where a lot of participating businesses agree to pitch a certain percentage of their profits. I forget what it is. And they raise hundreds of thousands of dollars in one day. And there's live music everywhere around town. And a lot of people come together to make that happen. We've got the Ham Corporate Battle of the Bands coming up, which is actually something that I'm co-chairing along with a great committee worth of people that we're working with. And we get a lot of big companies around town to sponsor bands of their employees. And then we have a battle of the bands with celebrity judges. It's really fun. And they get to do it at ACL Live. So you've got, groups of bands of people that really getting to be a rock star for a day and play on the stage at ACL Live where so many famous people have played. So, and that's another venue. That's a great venue. So that's fun. And so that's an organization that I've been involved with for on and off for a lot of years, and it's something that's special to this community and special to me. I mentioned Austin Music People. That's another great organization. Black Fret is another great organization. So there's no shortage of people here trying to help the cause. Definitely the Continental Club on South Congress. The Continental Club is awesome. It's still a small venue. The new Antones downtown is looking like it's going to be a great club. I mean, it's like a 400 person capacity, so it's awesome. Unfortunately, some of the ones that we all used to go to that we love are not here anymore. The old backyard was my favorite place growing up. I mean, in high school and even back when I would come home from college, we all went to go see shows at the old backyard, and that was a great venue. Trying to think. Yeah, Continental Club, Antone's Backyard. Stubbs is always a great place to see a show. And there's a couple of good places outside of town. I mean, Green Hall down in Green, Texas is a historic venue. It's great. Whitewater Amphitheater is a pretty cool spot. So there's no shortage of good music venues all around town.